What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch with SC Weather. Hope you all had an awesome Wednesday. We're going to talk about some things weather-wise, obviously. Even though there's not a ton to talk about, we're really going to start looking a little bit further into March, not late March or anything, but really within the next 7 to 10 days, and kind of see what's going to start to unfold here across the country. It is very quiet. It's pretty cold in the Northeast right now as Arctic push of air is swiftly moving through the area. But other than that, there's not a whole lot going on. It's really quiet. The system that moved through this morning has now pushed all the way through the southeast. So there's nothing really going on with that. So what are we starting to look for now? You know, we don't want to look too hard for something that really isn't there. We were talking about the system a little bit that had the chance to trend northwest for this weekend, but I really am just not seeing anything for that. And there'll be some moisture for Florida, but obviously not cold enough for snow in Florida. But we're going to start looking forward severe weather season as we're starting to get deeper into it and really start to see if there is severe weather threat on the horizon anywhere across the eastern U.S. or Midwest. So we're going to talk about that. Before we get going, if you guys have not subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button. It is slow. So growth is slow, which is fine. You know, that's just how it is with the weather. You get ups and downs. It's been very active the last few months, so I had a lot of growth, but things have certainly slowed down. But that's all right because it's the weather and it's going to pick back up again. So let's get going and talk about what we do know. If you hear my kids in the background, y'all know the deal. I have two little girls. They make loud noises. They're just being kids. And I'm kind of right here and out in the open. I don't have a nice enclosed area right now. So let's get going with this. So the 6 to 10 day outlook temperature-wise in the whole entire eastern U.S., Midwest of the eastern U.S., this is the March 9th to the 13th range. It's going to be warmer than average. We're going to get through a very chilly weekend this weekend. It's not going to be outrageously cold, but it's going to be pretty nippy. So this goes all the way through mid-March. Then you really look to the March to 11th to the 17th range, 8 to 14 day outlook. It's still looking like it's going to be chilly in the west, warmer than average in the east, which is good news for spring lovers. So when you start to get into March, why not embrace spring? I mean, at this point, for a lot of the eastern U.S., you know, winter's starting to wrap up. You start to lose the favored climatology period to see snow, and it's just not really there anymore. So here goes our system that really affect. Hey, baby, shh. So this is kind of the area right here where you know that system's been scooted off. You have the trough digging here, and we get here in time, and look how quiet it is from the Midwest to the eastern U.S. That system, I'm sorry, this is the system that had the potential to trend northwest, not the one that just went through. So that system's going to get on out the way. I don't think it's going to do anything unless it makes some crazy historic last-second trend northwest and does something crazy. But I don't really see that happening. But here it is. It's quiet. You're getting into Tuesday of next week. They're still not going on. Looks the jet stream is all the way up in Canada just about, which means the low pressures are going to ride around that jet stream, which means that you're not going to see snow. You're given a hard time seeing snow even in North Dakota, and that just was happening. The jet stream's way up north right now, but it's going to come back down. We're not quite there yet. We're not in August where the jet stream gets all the way up in Canada. Definitely not. They're still in the changing of the seasons. But we get going, and the time period I want to watch is with this system actually right here. This has a chance to maybe, and people are talking about the 10th and 11th time frame to potentially be the first severe weather event. I wouldn't say outbreak, but just something to watch in this area. There's no point in looking at parameters or how much CAPE there is, or is it going to be a high shear, low CAPE event? Obviously, it would probably favor that in this early in the season. We just don't know. It's 7 days out, and I can tell you one thing, the Storm Prediction Center, and I'll show you this in a second, is really not talking about this. But this could be a big-time system. As it moves through, it's so far north, any moisture along with it, it really just fizzles out. So I don't know what's going to really happen with that. But I'm going to show you the European model because it's a little different with the storm. We're starting to get 200 hours out, and after this, it just gets very inaccurate, if you will. You're getting a Friday of next week. But we look at the European model. So we get that little system that scoots off the coast down there in the southeast. But look how quiet it gets. We're going to hit a dry period for most of the eastern U.S. So I know I've seen in the comments a lot of people are tired of the rain. I think everybody is. We're going to get really dry. In fact, from today all the way through, depending on where you are in the eastern U.S., all the way through potentially next Wednesday or Thursday, so a week, areas could see potentially no rain, no moisture. But this is the system I'm talking about, from the 10th to 11th. It gets cranking here. You got a big-time cold front going here. And looks like a snow event in Denver, and you get some kind of system showing up in South and North Dakota. The way the structure of the storm looks, it could potentially be a blizzard-like scenario. I don't know, man. There's no point getting into details here, but it's going to be an interesting storm because you're sitting, this is low pressure. You got areas down here in the warmer air. Could be a severe weather event ahead of the cold front. Something to watch here. Some kind of squall line. Something may form here. We're obviously not in short range modeling, but it's an area to watch. Will this migrate into the southeast? I don't know, because that's getting to 9-10 days out. It's really hard to know that, but this is an interesting thing. What this is wind speed. So basically, it's showing you the path storm systems are going to take depending on what the jet stream is. For instance, here's a little storm system for this weekend. Notice how this area and brighter colors, if you will, and the more oranges, reddish, are down here, down south. So that means the storm track is really digging here, the high wind speeds, because it's a storm system, it's a low pressure, you got obvious winds. And then that moves through here. After that, check it out. You just got pretty much a huge area here in the eastern U.S. where there's just nothing. It's really low. So what happens here is, look at this. You got the jet stream right here, but look what the storm system does. To me, that looks like a fire hose, maybe not moisture necessarily, but that's showing me right there that the trough, there is some kind of cold front right in this area. There's some kind of event right here. I think this is going to be the next major storm event for the U.S. in general is next week. So that's something to watch. Obviously, this is a good way to depict it too here. We're getting into next week. And check it out here. This is a ridge. This is a southeast ridge, which means we're going to be warmer than average in the southeast all the way up to the northeast. This is a trough, and it's digging here, and there's some kind of storm system right here. See this low pressure? So it's a battleground right here across the Midwest, which normally brings crazy weather. What that crazy weather is going to be, we just don't know. But check it out. Here's the Storm Prediction Center running through day 4 through 8. So that's to next Thursday. Probability too low. So they're not picking up on any severe weather event anywhere. So it's definitely something to look at. I also want to show this. This is temperatures for the GFS ensembles. After a cold weekend, this is Saturday morning. This is Sunday morning. But check it out. We're getting into next week, Monday. Look how the temperatures start to warm. We get into the 60s, the 70s across the huge chunk of those areas of the southern plains in Texas and Oklahoma. The deep south, this is for basically a week out from the day. We're in the 60s and 70s for a lot of people. 60s getting all the way close to New York City. So warmer than average weather is coming, but it's going to come at a price if we're going to have some kind of severe weather event going to emerge. I don't know, but in fact, I started my YouTube journey, I would say, well, it was January 1st of 2020, and I remember specifically late February through about early March was a very slow period for me then too when I was trying to grow. The weather just seems to be slow in this time frame lately. Not always, but lately. So, and then all of a sudden we had that big time severe weather event around the day after Easter here in South Carolina that really sparked a huge train of severe weather events all the way through May. So things could change quickly. Stay tuned. Thank y'all for tuning in and staying faithful and watching my stuff, even in these slower times. Appreciate the support, and y'all have a great rest of y'all's night.